What is up, my viewers? Bang here, bringing you another viewer-submitted replay commentary. This time it is another replay from my good friend NeverAim. I say good friend even though he just recently started submitting commentaries. It is a fairly even match between these two teams, you know, same number of tier 5s. I would say the enemy team has a slight artillery advantage, but nothing significant. And really, it's encounter battle. I'm doing this when I'm really tired. It's literally 4 o'clock in the morning here. I'm getting into a bad habit of that. But anyway, I digress. It is encounter battle on Siegfried Line. Now, I kind of like what he's doing here, driving towards the town. It's generally a reliable strategy, especially since that's where the capture point is. And just trying to push across that open field is, unless you are a light tank or a medium tank, you know, one of the faster tanks in the game, it's generally a poor decision. An IS-7 can probably pull it off fairly well, but just because there's such open areas in the field, like I said, unless you're a fast tank and you can get across those open areas in a very short amount of time, you don't want to be there. And as you can see, him demonstrating that right here by shooting at the enemy team. His M7 dying right there, also proving my point. And the one thing I would say right here is I don't really like how he stopped to shoot and just sat out in the open, kind of exposing himself. He might have wanted to pull up to that bunker right there and actually give himself some cover, just so artillery wouldn't have an opportunity to ruin his day. It didn't, but it could have. So definitely something to consider. Now, the enemy team is on the capture point. And to be completely honest, on encounter battles, I never like it for my team to be the first team on the capture point, because that basically puts your team in a position to where they can be attacked by the enemy. And while yes, it does force your enemy to make a move to engage you, you are in a disadvantage. You're in a less defensible position. You're sitting out in the open on the capture. And the enemy team, all they have to do is pop out, shoot, and fall back. So generally, being the first team on the capture point is not a good thing, unless you have a plan to manipulate the fact that the enemy will have to come and get you. So beside that, anyway, right here, again, he drives way out into the open, you know, getting a good solid hit on that tank. And the one thing I shouldn't say right out in the open, he hid behind that car, but at the same time, he's still sitting out in the open right here, trying to abuse his rapid rate of fire. But he really, see right there, he really should not be that far out in the open. That little tank kind of getting in his way, causing him to be getting shot a little more than he should be. And to be honest, I don't know if you meant to drive in front of that car, but it was a good move. The only thing is, once that car was gone, you should have gotten your tank out of there. Being out in the open like that is a very, very quick way to get yourself killed. So the enemy team not doing too hot, down by 3 tanks at this point. And most of their forces are in the city at this point. Same can be said for his team. Right here, firing through those arches, definitely a good way to be aware of your surroundings. And I think one of the main reasons the enemy isn't doing so hot right now is because they did try to go for the capture point first, got some of their tanks killed there, and it's just going downhill from there. The enemy team trying to advance and flank, and again, they're just putting themselves out there in a disadvantageous position, just advancing when they really shouldn't be, having no idea where the NeverAim's team is. The enemy is pushing forward and getting shot up by multiple tanks and dying very quickly. So it's 9-6 at this point. He's up to 3 kills, doing very well for himself. Panzer 3 blitzing through the fields, I'm guessing trying to kill artillery, but his team has 2 tanks in the field. Hopefully they will be able to stop that push. So right here, he's kind of pushing up a little, maybe a little too quickly, but he knows for the most part it's clear. He has teammates up there that have more or less cleared the surrounding area. That Martyr 2 getting stuck on some debris and basically getting himself taken out. Unfortunately, right here, the Panzer 3A probably going to die right here, getting hit by what I'm guessing is artillery. I'm not quite sure what him, but Panzer 4 kind of joining the fight here, making him very nervous. I'm not exactly sure what the rate of fire on this gun is, but it's very fast. The M10 apparently having good enough armor to bounce a Panzer 4's gun, which I was unaware it had that good of armor. The M18 is definitely light on armor. It's the other tier 5 equivalent, I think, or maybe it's the tier 6 after this. I'm having trouble recalling. But our friend doing very well for himself. 6 kills at this point. The grill, yes, I have to agree with that decision right there. Doesn't even take the time to aim in, just stays in third person view because there is no reason to lose your perspective, no need to lose your your situational awareness. So overall, a very well played match. Not too much to criticize. Just like I said, you want to be careful about leaving yourself out in the open. First of all, when you stopped out in the open to shoot those tanks in the field, and second, when you pulled out into the open, right in front of that car. So that was smart. But once they shot the car, you were exposed and you continued to stay there. It's generally smart to not have yourself exposed more than you need to be. Now, as you can see, it doesn't always end in you getting yourself killed, but again, that's just one of those things to be aware of. Anyway, 7 killed, 2 damaged, 3 hits taken, not that many hits, but firing definitely an impressive number of shots, 20 for 25. And yeah, Battle Heroes, he got Top Gun, obviously, the only person on his team. A decent double, definitely. And if I recall correctly, he doesn't have premium, which would explain why he just didn't even break 2,000 on a double, because with 7 kills, he should have easily gotten more. Well, I shouldn't say that. But because I'm not too familiar with the lower tiers at this point, because they reworked some of the things and all that. So this might be average for a low tier, even with 7 kills. But I'm saying from my experience, I do not believe he has premium. Just because the number of kills he got does not seem proportional to the experience awarded. Anyway, I just completely digress. Let's get this over with. If you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you have a replay, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. The link will be in the description. And as always, this is Spang signing off.